Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. Hope you're doing well today. It is actually Easter, and it's a very special holiday, I'm sure, for you, and if you are a Christian on some level, whether it's your background or whether you are a practicing Christian. Second really only to Christmas. And the interesting thing is that according to the masters, eventually in the future, Easter will be the #1 Christian holiday and will eventually be celebrated by peoples of all faiths because of the esoteric purpose behind Jesus' life. And what do I mean by that? Well, there were 5 points in Jesus' life that symbolize the 5 great expansions of consciousness that a person must take in order to become a master, to become a true manifestation of their own soul. The first being the birth, then the second being the baptism, third the transfiguration, the fourth the crucifixion, and then of course the 5th one is the resurrection. So as humanity starts to become more and more aware and knowledgeable about their own purpose as souls on this planet, and when we start to see the masters as examples of what it means to be a true and manifested soul, eventually Easter will become the top holiday. And of course, commercialization will take a back seat to cooperation and synthesis and brotherhood. So, Christmas, I think, is one of the bigger holidays, if not the biggest holiday of the year, because of more of a commercialization appeal than the actual purpose behind that holiday. Which I'm not taking anything away from the birth of Jesus, but, the resurrection of Jesus is much more important, in terms of symbols, in terms of historical fact, really, than anything else. Now, the other thing about the Easter holiday that most people aren't aware of is that right before Easter, when the disciples were getting ready to, spend the time with Jesus for the Last Supper or the Lord's Supper, whichever way you want to, whichever name you call it, Jesus told his disciples to follow the person carrying the bucket of water, because in some interpretations it's a woman, some it's a man, and follow that person carrying the bucket of water and thus prepare the feast, or whatever it was. Well, anyway, that was Maitreya speaking through Jesus, and in that little itty-bitty, tiny little one-sentence description of what happened at that time, Maitreya was foreshadowing his future role, which is the role that he's in right now as the world teacher for this age, the age of Aquarius, because Aquarius, the symbol for Aquarius, the age-old symbol for Aquarius, is the water carrier. So the other thing, too, that Easter really is about our potential as souls. And in the not-so-distant future, it will be proven scientifically, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that can be reproduced in a lab, in a science lab, that we are souls. It will be proven scientifically by a group of scientists in France, apparently. And that will shake things up. So people will start to realize, oh my gosh, I'm a soul. And of course, the main teaching of Maitreya is going to be about how to live harmlessly within the law of cause and effect, because we are souls, the truth and the reality that we are souls. And so I wanted to end this video reading a article that Benjamin Creme's master wrote that really is about man's potential as souls, which kind of goes hand in hand with Easter, really, from an esoteric view. But as I'm reading this, if you find yourself more of a fundamentalist Christian and you get turned off by some of the language that he uses in terms of, potential gods and this, that, and the other, I want you to consider this, that Jesus did say in the Bible himself that greater things than this shall you do yourself, and be perfect as God, your Father in heaven is perfect, and so forth. That was Jesus's teaching, that eventually we will all be masters like them. So something to consider. But the esoteric purpose of Jesus' life will become more and more known as these masters come out open in the world, and start to teach us the reality of life itself. And anyway, I hope you have a great Easter, and I hope you get to find a way to celebrate it with your family, and you know, take care of yourself, look after each other, and of course we're going to get through the crisis that we're in today. Anyway, so take care. Man's destiny. When men awaken to their true potential, they will be amazed by the range of creativity which will become theirs. The audacity of their thoughts will at first astound them, and will lead them into enterprises all but unimaginable today. Men will find that they are in truth potential gods. From the deep slumber of the past, men will awaken and slough off the heavy coat of ignorance, which for long has delayed their forward progress. Thus will it be. Man is now at a turning point in his long adventure in life on planet Earth. From now on, all progress will be the result of his considered will and reason. No longer will greed and competition impede his journey to perfection. No longer will war and want for millions degrade and stain his path. Never again will lawlessness and separation rule on planet Earth. Man's foot now stands on a ladder of ascent which will take him to the very stars. As we, your elder brothers, take our places beside you, you will see in us exemplars and be inspired to become like us. You will see that we know no competition and that we value all life in whatever form. You will see that we love without distinction or condition, and work only and always for the fulfillment of the plan. Men are destined by the plan to reach that same perfection. Ours is the task to show them the way. The path to such perfection is well trodden by us, and we have set in place the needed landmarks. Men must see humanity as one. Brothers and sisters, sons of the one Father. Freedom and justice are essential to all, everywhere without exception, and can only be achieved by trust. Sharing alone can create that trust and set men on the path to their divinity. Men, to be happy, must live within the laws of life, of love, of cause and effect, rebirth, harmlessness, and sacrifice. These basic laws are ancient landmarks which protect men from self-destruction and remorse. When Maitreya steps forward into open vision, you will hear these laws again, for they form the basis of all his teachings and the basis of all life on planet Earth. The awakening of men depends on humanity grasping the import of these laws and their willingness and readiness to change. This present so-called civilization has, quote, shot its bolt, unquote, is decaying and dying with little further to offer men than hardship and fear and finally self-annihilation. Maitreya comes to show men that they have within themselves all that it takes to become the gods they essentially are, to show them how simple and beautiful is that way, and to inspire them to grasp and accept their destiny. Maitreya doubts not their response. Remember to take action and help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos.